course alongside me, so when you go and look at the website, you will see that some of the courses are taught by me and some of them are taught by Harriet. But I think she's got some questions from there.
Okay,
that
Barbara.
came through. Okay.
Some women are fearful of charting as they feel it may be an added pressure. How do you reassure them?
Okay. We do get some women who are concerned about charting and that they're afraid they'll become obsessive. My way of approaching it is to say that it's about information gathering. This bit isn't about getting them pregnant. It's about finding out what's happening with their chart and then remedying any anomalies. And we only get them to do it for probably 2 or 3 months maximum. All right. So hopefully that will that they will feel a bit more comfortable about that. Okay.
What could it mean if a woman has a consistently low temperature?
Okay, that's one of the things that we haven't actually talked about. So if you have a client or you yourself have a temperature that is consistently below 36.3 C, it could mean that you have thyroid deficiency. And the thing with this is that it can impact upon your fertility, so you would want to go and get that checked. Fertility clinics now, if thyroid function, if TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, is low, then they will supplement with thyroxine, so it's really well worth getting that checked. Thyroid function has a big impact on fertility. Okay.
And there are a lot of apps out there for charting, such as Fertility Friends, which you mentioned, and there's Clue, and there's a lot of them. Are they always accurate?
Okay. Yes, I get lots
when
of women
predicting.
who turn up with an app with just a list of temperatures on there or a little smiley face when they're ovulating. It doesn't tell you enough. It's pretty one-dimensional. It only tells you when they think they are ovulating. So fertilityfriend.com is really key, and it provides you with all of the information that you need to have with regard to your cycle, and also for you as a practitioner in terms of monitoring and monitoring any changes. So I hope that answers that question.
So
we've
got a question here actually that's come up on the computer
screen,
here.
yeah.
If they aren't implanting due to progesterone deficiency,
Yeah.
they just get their bleed as normal, i.e. on their usual period start date.
Yeah.
And we only know this by looking at their chart, is that correct?
Yes. It is correct. So basically, the only way of really identifying what's happening with progesterone levels is by looking at charts. If your clients have a progesterone test, which should be 7 days post-ovulation, not day 21 necessarily, 7 days post-ovulation, it only tells, it gives a little sort of snapshot of what progesterone is at that point in time. It doesn't tell us whether it's staying high enough for long enough. Your client may have a perfectly normal cycle. The only way of actually seeing what's happening with progesterone is by charting. So you can see what a useful tool it is. Okay.
What sort of other things, other than deprived sleep and low progesterone levels, will cause temperatures to drop, anomalies in the luteal phase?
In the luteal phase, there are lots of anomalies. So as I was saying earlier, I don't know whether you may have missed the beginning, but we were looking at all of the things that impact upon the temperature. So it could be, disturbed sleep. It could be travel. It could be sleeping in a different bed. It could be anxiety. It could be getting very excited. A whole range of things. So it's really important to note anything that is different on your chart, or you get your clients to chart, so that they can you can see what might be causing the anomalies if there are any. Okay.
And yes, how would you manage to chart if your working hours were not consistent, such as in shift work or as an air hostess, things like that?
Yeah, so it is tricky. It is tricky, and what we do know is that changes in sleep patterns do disturb and disrupt the endocrine system and do have an effect upon fertility. But if you do continue to do it and your clients take temperatures as soon as they wake up, it doesn't matter whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, there will be some kind of pattern, but it's not going to be entirely accurate. Okay. Any others?
And what is the difference between progesterone deficiency and luteal phase defects?
Okay, so a luteal phase defect is a very short luteal phase. So it means it only lasts 10 days or less. So that's the period of time from ovulation until bleed is less than 10 days. Progesterone deficiency could be that the luteal phase may be 13, 14, 15 days, but it's going up for a period of time and then it's dropping down before the bleed starts. We need it to stay up consistently.
Okay, we've got another one here. When you're getting your clients to self-stimulate, how long before you usually see a change so you can tell them to increase the self-stimulation or not? Or to
Okay, so how do we monitor that?
How do you monitor
Well,
it?
I would, if you, what I normally do with my clients is I get them to email their chart to me, either photograph it and send it, or send their sign-in details. And if you see that the temperatures have gone up and they're self-stimulating and they just start to drop down again, then you would immediately increase that. Within a day or two of that happening, you would increase it. It's not going to do any harm to get them to increase the self-stimulation. So yeah, just monitor it quite closely, and quite often looking at charts every other day or so if I think there's a problem. And I also get my clients to flag it up. If they can see that their temperatures are dropping, then I get them to make contact with me and we remedy things quite quickly. Yeah.
And is it obvious to notice that shift? I mean, when you have a 3-day shift after ovulation, is it obvious that always?
It should be obvious. You don't always get an immediate rise. Sometimes what happens is the rise goes up over 2 or 3 days. That's why it's important to look at the whole chart. It's very difficult to interpret it just in its early stages and only looking at small component parts of it. So you really need to see the whole chart first of all so that you can identify what might be happening. Right.
Okay. Well, I don't think we've got any more questions
Okay,
now.
wonderful.
So is there
Okay.
anyone quickly want to pop one in?
No. If there's any more, type away furiously. I'm just going to go over the email that you're going to get this evening. So once you've registered, you will get another email from Lucia this evening, which will give you the links and the codes to use for the discount on the book, and also for discount on your courses if you want to book them. So look out for that later on. If you don't get one, just check your spam folders, because I know what our emails are like. They go into spam folders, so do go and check. But thank you so much for joining us, for being with us. I hope you found it interesting. If you've got any questions at all, make contact with me. You can email me via our website, which is serennaturalfertility.co.uk, or you can give me a call. My office number, best one to get hold of me on, is 01267 290 819. You can also look at my Facebook page, which is Reproductive Reflexology. We post loads of information on there. All the most recent pieces of research and interesting articles go on there, so just keep up to date with that if you want to, and you can also of course message me via that if you have anything further. But thank you very much for listening, and hopefully we'll get to do something more for you again in the future. Thanks very much. Good night now, everyone.